Hey Taurus, I'm Eleanor and welcome to Peaches by Starlight Tarot. This is your weekly pick a card reading where we are talking all about this fleeting moment right before you start this brand new journey. So it's talking about having decided that you're open to something, that you want something, and that you're throwing all of those reasons not to do it to the wind. And yet that is a very special moment in time that you do get to savor, but you can't stretch. That's someplace that you can't live, that can't last. It's only special because it's the start of something new. And so there is some hesitation here with this fleeting. So it's talking about enjoying the energy of this, but that you can't stay there. You do have to move on and take actions towards the next thing. So I am using Flower Petals and the Impressionist Tarot. I have stack 1 and 2, 3. They're timestamped below, so you can skip to the one or more than one that you feel like is calling to you or speaks to you. These are general, so if you would like a private reading more tailored to you, I offer those through email, and my Etsy page where you can find those is listed below. Like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'm very close to 50, and so I'm so excited, and thank you all. And when I do hit that 50, I'm going to do a special video with love and money and all that stuff, like a bunch of pick-a cards all together. It's going to be really fun. All right, stack 1. Oh gosh, you have the 10 of Cups, the Hangman, Sunflower. Practice courage each day. All right, let me look. So this is fascinating right off the top. Look how both of these have that same lily pond right there. These waters, those are your emotional waters that you're having to dive into or cross at this time. So with the Hangman and the Fool, okay, it is like you're standing on the precipice of everything you want in life. This 10 of Cups is everything anyone ever wanted in terms of emotional fulfillment, having it all. And so it's like it's within arm's reach. It's just out there. And yet there's, for some reason, an incredible amount of courage that it's going to require to actually reach for it. And so it's as though, like, even though it's not far, what stands between you and that is like a bottomless, infinite pit that you can't see the bottom of, and just one false step, one false move, and you slip and you fall into that pit. And so that perception could be creating some paralysis. Like it's so close, you could probably make it, but there's so like this perception of extreme risk. And so to alleviate that paralysis, the Hangman in this deck in particular actually really goes well with this sunflower message about taking small steps every day, which seems like counterintuitive to this thing that's just right there, and a small step is what's going to lead you into that pit. But here's the thing, it isn't real. It's a perception. It's fear that's showing you that. And that, so it reminds me of, do you remember Indiana Jones, the Temple? No, the third one, Holy Grail. And they're in the place, and he's going through the challenges to try to get to the room where the grails are, and he comes to this like huge chasm. There's no way to get across. There's no bridge. There's no anything. And he reads his dad's little diary or whatever, and you're supposed to take a leap of faith. That's exactly what the Fool is a leap of faith. And as soon as he takes that step, he lands, and he's shocked. He's a little shaken. And all of a sudden, when you've changed your viewpoint, which is what the Hangman exactly asks you to do, flip the script on what you're seeing. Like if you're looking at the black, look at the spaces in between, or vice versa. It's like shifting how you're looking at it. When Indiana Jones does this, they show the camera, and they show all along there was a path that led across, but it blended in, like it was an optical illusion. It blended in with the rock face across the way, and you couldn't see it until you stepped, and then you were able to see by contrast that it existed. So this isn't, and he didn't leap. If he had gone wee and leapt into it, he would have probably bounced off it and still fallen. So it's talking about that tiny leap, that tiny step, that how can you do something small and courageous today and do something small and courageous the next day. And as you do that, as you take that little step, all of a sudden the path rises to meet your foot, even though you couldn't see it before. Okay, I hope that helps you get unstuck and leave this beautiful moment and get on with your journey. Stack 2, you have the 7 of Swords, Death, and Tulip. You are worth what it is you desire. It makes me think of what's the makeup commercial? Because you're worth it. Anyways, okay. So with the Death card, right off the bat, that's talking about a huge transformation that you're desiring to embark upon. It's like a brand new beginning that you want for yourself. It's like a whole new life starting from scratch with this Fool card. And with this fleeting moment, it's as though you know you want that. You've had that aha moment. You know that you want this life that's different, or to be and exist in this new and different way, which is exciting in and of itself. But then there's the transitioning from that into actually making it a reality, and how that moment can't last forever. You do have to eventually act on it, or it's going to wilt. It's going to die on the branch. And so for some reason, with this 7 of Swords right here, see, he's kind of sneaking. In the traditional, he's leaving some stuff behind. He's doing it under the cover of night and trying not to be seen. For some reason, you feel like you have to do this on the down low for, I don't know, like you would be judged. So there's like a part of you that wants this so badly, but doesn't want that to be out, doesn't want that secret to be out. And that if people knew, if you had to reach out, you make that first phone call, make those first steps towards it, then the secret would be out, and that you may be judged, or that others might not support you. And if only there was a way to do it totally unseen, but you can't, because it's something that's, it's bigger than that. You can't just do this on your own. It's something that's going to change the way you look, change the way you live, change something about your being in a way that's not going to be hidden once you start to take these steps. I'm getting, for some reason, a gender change almost, something like that big, like starting to take the hormones and start to take those steps that you're going to change, and then you're going to, doing so makes you vulnerable to the judgment of others, as unfair and bullshit as that is. But that's really one of the most specific things I've gotten from my readings. I try to, because being is their general, so that's probably like maybe one person, or it's not going to be every one of you listening, but it's going to be something. If that's not you, it's something like that, right? So at least, if nothing else, that should give you a good metaphor or example of what this could be like. And so that kind of energy can keep you stuck at square one forever and ever and ever, wanting it so badly, and having decided that you're going to do it, but not doing it. So that's where this tulip comes in. You have to be able to let go of this story that you don't deserve it. But sure, there's risk, and not everyone's going to like it, and people will know, and it's probably a public move, but it's your life. You have to, at the end of the day, live it the way you want it, and not live it for what someone else thinks you should do. Because once it's over, are you going to be, man, I'm sure glad I did whatever everyone wanted me to do. I met everyone's expectations. Life well lived. I don't think so. So that is your message, stack 2. Stack 3. You have the 2 of Wands, the High Priestess, Carnation. Keep going, keep growing, be unstoppable. Sorry, I have it here. I'm OCD. Okay. I really like the 2 of Wands with the Fool. It really shows you amping up your ambition and your initiative. It's like you've had this inspiration for where you want to go, and now there's a lingering at just what actions to take to make that happen, to get the show on the road. And it's like, you know what, but not exactly the how. And so I'm feeling like that's overwhelming. Like there's too much to do. Like there's like, I don't even know how to sort this into action, into, it's like point A to point Z is so, there's not a linear path that makes sense. And so it's telling you not to stop with this carnation. Reach out, get people on board, ask questions, gather information. Like the first step might be information recon, just getting your questions answered. It may be that you can't put the steps into order because you don't know enough. So it makes sense that step one, ask questions and gather information. And maybe then the things will start to kind of line up and make sense. And you can start putting together a to-do list of specific actions with verbs that are more helpful than get to work, right? So, but you have step one, you have step two, step three. I liken it to like when you're doing something like setting up a program or something, and you have nice easy boxes. Click next. One question, answer it, click next. Not like this, like I tried to set up Squarespace once and I was so overwhelmed by, I could change that, I could change this, but how? It's just, it was too open. I need something that's more, answer this question, click next. That's just the way I work. It's a little bit of an ADD thing, that all that information hits you like a tidal wave and you can't process it because you need the information to line up in an orderly fashion and then present it to yourself so you can. What's the whole thing about eating the elephant? How you eat an elephant, one bite at a time. That's what, sorry, it was a roundabout way to get to that. But anyhow, the High Priestess and her connection to spirit is going to help guide you. Active listening, purposeful quiet, intentional tuning in for each action item to unfold. Yeah, so that was all very practical, and I talk about reaching out and asking questions and being curious, but the High Priestess is here and she's a major arcana, so she is going to be having a major influence and like almost putting a colored gel to, you know, cast her color over the whole project, and that's going to be very intuitive and being very tapped in to that needle that is inside your gut telling you to go this way or that way. That if you work keenly with that she'll point you to step one, step two, step three, then you will be more able to move out of this kind of state of overwhelm that I'm perceiving right now. Okay, Taurus, I'll talk to you in a week. Thank you.